Are you ready to glowing up this season, this winter season? Are you ready to internally make the growth stages that you are supposed to do? Then this video is for you, or this podcast is for you. But today I'm also recording it as a video, so you can go ahead and look at it on YouTube, or you can choose to listen to it on Spotify. So today this is a special winter edition, and I like to have these kind of seasonal editions. So now we have been entering, and we are entering the season of winter, at least for me where I live. And for me, I do also work a lot with the seasons, so that's why I like to, give that extra spark into the particular season. And when we're talking about glowing up internally, we're talking about glowing up in a sense that, makes us feel better and makes us feel that we are really glowing from within. And now when we are in winter season, we are in a season of hibernation. We are in a season where we are actually withdrawing ourselves a little bit, and when we are kind of isolating ourselves, but for the better. And that we do in order for us to grow. As everything goes down underneath the soil, that is what we do as well. What is essential for our growth, what is essential for us to really take that step, really take that leap, really take that leveling up in our lives, the winter season is so important. Because if you're not actually working with those energies, and only if you feel for it, right? Sometimes we might not be actually in that season, and that is totally okay. So if you're not in that season, that's totally okay. But for those of us who do feel that, and we're going against that, it can feel quite difficult for us to go through life in that certain type of period. It can also feel that we are not really connected with ourselves, and that we are listening to our inner voice because we feel pulled to something, but we do something else. And this is really when it comes to working with seasons and being in sync with the natural seasons of life. So in this winter season, I'm going to give you a couple of quick ways how it is that you can glow up internally and focus on your internal growth. First and foremost, what I always get reminded of when it comes to winter season is to do things the way that you want to do things. We have been conditioned to, we've been taught, we've been programmed into function and operate from states that is not natural to us, that doesn't feel like us. And why I do feel that this is very essential when it comes to winter growth is because we are growing more into ourselves so that we can really grow big and expansive, right? And the best way that you can do that is to grow in the way that you feel it's most authentic to you. So we'll give you an example. For instance, when it comes to New Year's, that at least in my tradition, we celebrate right now in where I live, we celebrate New Year's around Christmas. It's the 31st of December. So we are celebrating the new year. And many years I was in this kind of New Year's vibes that I really wanted to, prepare for the next year and plan for the next year. And I was in that type of mode that I planned a lot. Okay. So in that type of mode, it kind of gave me, in one way, inspiration. But according to me, it also gave me a lot of false inspiration. Because on the other hand, I also felt that I many times were not really in sync with, yeah, let's go, let's level up, let's do something new, let's just be in a great vibe when it was winter. I felt most of the times just that I want to isolate myself. I didn't want to go to parties as New Year's celebrations are like. I just wanted to, reflect and be and listen and just stand still a little bit, grow. So after a while, I noticed that this was not the way how to do it. And every time that I put some certain type of New Year's decisions, normally in every year, not only in every year, every month I do it every season and so forth. But during every year, I also do decide a little bit for what type of themes my year is going to look like. And what I noticed is that when I decide for those themes in December, January, in winter period, when March is coming, That is not aligned with me at all any longer. And I believe because I have, during those months, been doing my essential growth, been doing the essential reflections, preparing myself for newness, preparing myself for spring. So what I noticed was that, for me, I actually are very seasonal. I feel that my unique rhythm, or my rhythm for me, is to go by seasons. Because every time when March is starting to approach, I start to feel a little bit new spark in connecting with me, feeling into okay, how is it that I want to level up now? How is it that I want to make some type of changes, improvements? What topics do I want from the year and so forth? But before then, I wasn't aligned yet in that type of way. So many times I set different type of topics, and then 2 months later, literally 2 months later, I was not resonating with those topics. But when I set it in March, then it was a total difference. So doing it your way is essentially to listen into your own phases of life. Doing it in your way can be that you're syncing your month to your calendar, your period to your calendar month, to the moon if you don't have month, or if you don't have a regular one. Period, do you say month or period month, whatever. I guess you understand me, right? And really sinking into and listening into how you function the most. Some of you maybe resonate a lot with creating New Year's topics, themes, and New Year's goals around New Year. That might be so. I noticed those of you that are, for instance, born very early in the year, those of you are normally having a little bit extra energy in the end of the year to start it already. But for rest of us, I also noticed that we can wait a little bit. We can actually make ourselves prepared for deciding how we want our year to be, so to say. So do it your way. That was just an example, but really sink into and listen into, okay, how in different type of ways can I do it my way? What is it in my life that I want to do it more my way? Is it something that I want to reschedule a little thing, or redo something in my life in order for me to pay more attention to my creative processes, or pay more attention to what I'm inspired by? What is it that I want to, how is it that I want to live? Do I want to take my most decisions intuitively? How is it that I can do that? How is it that I haven't done that before? So this is about re-syncing back to nature, back to your nature, doing it your way. So how you can glow up internally this winter is also by looking into your growth. I've been talking about that, but that is really essential during winter season. So looking into your growth, how have you grown this far? And being really honest with yourself, asking yourself questions like, how have I grown this year? What is it that I'm proud of? What is it that I actually don't feel so proud about? Be honest, be true to yourself. Okay, why is it then I'm not proud of this? Why is it then I haven't grown in this? Is it that I haven't paid attention to it? Is it that it wasn't that prioritized? What was it? Just look it through these different type of internal goals that you have for yourself. I'm talking about internal success mostly, but as within so without, so to say. So let's say that you actually have a goal of productivity, for instance, that might be seen on the outside. You maybe have the goal of that I want to be more in flow, because that is how I can keep me being productive, right? So really look into these type of internal goals and internal ways how you want to live, and how have you lived it so far? What is most important for you? What is your personal values? What is your number 5 or top 7, top 3 even personal values that you value the most in your life? And have you been growing in those stages? Have you been prioritizing them? Have you been living by them, right? So for instance, one of my most essential personal values, so to say, is, for instance, that I always believe that I am supposed to expand my consciousness, expand my inner being, and being more connected with source, spiritual connection, spiritual development. And so I maybe been looking at that, like how has that been so far this year? How have I been growing in that? And is that something that I should be really proud of? Of course it is, but what is it? And is it something that I feel that I maybe want to improve, adjust, or modify a little bit? So have a look at the most essential, like the most important themes in your life. What's most important for you? Freedom, maybe. How have you been like feeling free? How are you freeing yourself this year? How has that gone, right? Or if you had a goal or topic or theme this year that you wanted to reflect more, take more pauses throughout your days, or living a more soft life, whatever it might be for you, right? How has it been so far? So have this kind of reflection and just observing it, doing it almost as meditation, like you're observing only what you are reflecting upon. You don't add any kind of judgment, or you don't add any kind of action points. That is not needed actually, because you are in the growth stage. So you are more in the stage of, I can grow in my own way. I can let go of the control of growing. I don't need to add any certain type of things into it, right? In order for me to grow, I can just watch and see what happens. Okay, watch and see what happens. So in order for us to do that, and the next thing that is essential for us to actually embrace this winter season and glow up internally, is to isolate ourselves a little bit more. This is the hibernate season. So this is the season where we are turning even more so into solitude. We already start with it in the fall season, and for some it might be easier, for others. For me, that I actually love my own space, doing things with myself, all of that, recharging my energies from within. Like it's my prime time. For others, I know that that might be a little bit more like tricky, or you maybe have a very busy period. Sometimes, we have a moment where we're actually doing a lot. Like this winter have actually been quite active for being my kinds of winters. And so I have been needing to be okay with that, because it's have been a lot of fun things happening as well. But I have needed to accept that and then see, for when I have my space, how am I taking care of that space? How am I taking care of my inner self and going within in solitude a little bit? Here you can ask yourself the question, like, how can I turn within, turn inward a little bit more this season? And what is it that I can clutter? What is it that I can set an energetic boundary around in order for me to create more space for me in this season? So this might be, for instance, that you want to, steer out the internal buzz. So to say, you maybe don't consume so much at this moment. You maybe not consume so much podcasts or YouTubes. You maybe only listen to those that you really feel that I'm getting activated, expanded, I'm getting a lot of insights, or this feels really good to me to listen to this person. But some other ones that I normally listen to, that sometimes, you can listen to that another time maybe, or maybe you choose to not do it. It doesn't matter, right? But find different type of ways how you can turn the gaze within a little bit more in this season, because it's really, really helpful for you in order for you to really grow through this season and using the energies of this season. Two more things. One thing is to let go of expectations. Winter season is normally also for many a tradition of celebrating New Year's Eve. It's a lot of Christmas celebrations maybe, or something similar, right? And what I notice is that if you can remove 50%, only 50% or more, please more, of your expectations of this season, you will feel so much more liberated. A couple of years back, I started to really do that. I started to really look into, like, what is it that I have projecting from myself, like I projecting from within, projecting onto others, what type of expectations they have on me in Christmas season. So I noticed that I felt a lot of pressure, or I felt that there was a different type of expectations on that I should like Christmas in a certain way, or that I should like the holidays in a certain way, or I should do certain type of things, or buy gifts to these people, or I should actually be at a family dinner, or I should actually talk about these kind of things at the family dinner, or I should like this tradition. It doesn't really matter what your people around you have for expectations on you, what is actually theirs. That are those expectations. They have to deal with that, actually, but you can deal with expectations that you believe that others have on you, like the expectations that you could actually project. Because what happens many times is that we project onto others, we have it from within, right? So in one way or another, you have a certain type of expectation. You might look in the ways of that you have an expectation that your parents should have, or have a certain type of expectations on you. It can be that simple, or it can be something deeper. So have a little bit look about that and really liberate yourself from expectations. Nowadays, I celebrate the holidays very differently. Sometimes I'm somewhere else, sometimes I'm not celebrating that much, sometimes I'm having a friend's dinner, sometimes I'm with family, sometimes, whatever. I've been with myself, also doing journaling for a whole Christmas evening. Like, I've been doing a lot of different things, and this is a result of me asking myself, what is a tradition for me? What type of traditions do I have? How do I want to celebrate these traditions, and why? So because of that, I do believe that this is also a very beautiful time to look at your expectations, but also look in regards to all different type of traditions or expectations that people have around you throughout the year. Actually, how is it that I want to do vacations? How is it that I want to celebrate my birthday? How is it that I want to celebrate life? Do I want to celebrate life big and have these big different type of traditions? Do I want to have small things? Do I want to create my own tradition? What is it that I want to do? Really look into and have it your way once again, right? But look into and see what type of expectations that you have upon a holiday, that it should be in a certain type of way, or it should not be in a certain type of way, or that people should behave in a certain type of way. Like, I before used to see that people have certain expectations, like we should eat these kind of foods and stuff like that, and I was just like, oh my god. But then I realized that I had the expectation on others that we were supposed to have deep, meaningful conversations, that we should celebrate the year and ask each other about what are your intentions and what have you loved about this year and what are you grateful for and all of that. And it doesn't really matter what it is. I still have the expectations that I want others to focus on that, right? I have expectations too, right? So as I said, as within, so without. So the last thing that you can do in order for you to internally glow up this winter season is to take a little bit more care of yourself and nurture yourself more. Okay, so I believe that self-care and spiritual care is something that we do every week, every day, every year. But when it comes to different type of seasons, it's also a certain type of self-care is needed for that energy, right? So since we are in this energy of growth, since we are in this energy of rest, since we are in this energy of peace, harmony, increasing hope within ourselves, right? Inviting this kind of warmth into ourselves, we can also have different type of self-care routines that actually amplifies this energy and gives us this little extra spark in this winter season. So that can be like literally whatever you feel for. I drink a lot of tea right now. I normally drink tea, but I drink even more so a lot of tea. I've invited more like herb tea, more fruit tea. I've been reading a lot more. I love to read during these type of seasons. That is my type of self-care routine at this moment. I also oil my hair much more, like put oil in my hair because it's getting drier, right? So it can be those kind of things as well, but I do it with intention. I affirm things. I like taking really good care about it. I massage my hair and having a lot of like fun with it, right? So I'm resting, I'm taking it slow, right? And this might be something that I do normally during other seasons as well, but I maybe do it more or with even more intention or with another type of intention. It amplifies and get you into this kind of mode of taking care of yourself, or nurturing yourself, letting yourself grow and rest in this period. And I'm taking it much more slower. So normally, like when I'm more active in other seasons, I maybe do more active journaling or whatever it might be. But this season, if I'm tired one day and just want to sit and read a book the whole evening and not using my mind that much, I'm not doing it, right? See what works for you. I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that you have a little bit inspiration how it is that you can glow up this winter season. See you in the next episode. Take care of yourself. Keep on listening to your Within Talk. Bye.